Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something that usually feels, well, safe, doesn't it? The family home.
Especially when there's a babysitter someone trusted.
Exactly. But we've got 3 accounts today that are truly unsettling. Experiences from the world of childcare that weren't just scary stories, they were real. They left scars. These specific ones, they actually come from a collection shared on the YouTube channel Mr. Nightmare. Real horror stories.
And they really highlight how something so normal like babysitting can suddenly become terrifying.
Yeah. So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack these incidents. We'll look at the details, the things that make them so disturbing, and, maybe what we can learn about hidden dangers.
And also the psychological impact, which is often overlooked.
Definitely.
You have this inherent vulnerability, right? The kids, obviously.
Yeah.
But also the caregivers, who are often young themselves.
Yeah.
And fear. It doesn't always come from where you expect it. That line between imagination and real danger can get very blurry.
All right, let's get into the first one. This account is from an 18-year-old babysitter. She worked regularly for a single mom, Lucy, looking after her 3 boys. Adam was 3, Bobby 5, and Chris 7.
A familiar setup.
Right. Comfortable routine, modest home, everything seemed normal. So the evening starts, typically. She puts the younger boys, Adam and Bobby, to bed. She's maybe downstairs with Chris. Then Bobby starts crying. The 5-year-old.
Okay.
She goes up and he says there's a monster in his closet.
The classic.
Yeah, exactly. So she does the usual thing, chuckles a bit, reassures him. She leaves the closet door just slightly ajar, for comfort, thinks nothing of it. He calms down. But then maybe an hour later, he's crying again. Properly upset this time. She goes back up. He's under the covers, insists the monster is back, says he heard it. And the babysitter looks. And the closet door, it's shut. Completely closed.
Oh, okay, that's different.
He starts feeling uneasy, asks him what he heard. He just keeps saying, I keep hearing it moving inside the closet. She's still skeptic. I mean, you would be, right? He even begs her not to look. But as she gets closer, she hears it too.
She hears it.
Yeah. A definite sound, like a tapping or something shifting inside the closet. It's unmistakable. And Bobby just whispers, see, that's the moment the fear becomes real. For her.
And that's the pivot, isn't it? From dismissing a child's fear to suddenly validating it through your own senses. It's terrifying because your initial assumption, your rationalization, is shattered.
Totally shattered. Her reaction is pure instinct. Grab the kids. She grabs Bobby, gets Chris from the bathroom nearby, shoves them both into Adam's room, locks the door.
Good thinking.
She remembered Adam's room connected to Lucy's room via a bathroom, a possible escape route. So with the kids safe in Adam's room, she ducks into that connecting bathroom and calls Lucy. Quietly.
Trying not to alert whoever might be there.
Right. She asks Lucy, trying to sound calm, could there be an animal? Maybe in the walls, anything.
How does Lucy react?
Lucy sounds immediately worried. Tells her straight away, check the closet.
So Lucy might suspect something specific already.
Seems like it. So the babysitter, still on the phone with Lucy, goes back into Bobby's room. And this is just goosebumps. The closet door, it's ajar again.
Wow. So someone is in the house and they're playing games.
Exactly. Playing games, moving the door. She tells Lucy this and Lucy just panics. Immediately says it must be her crazy ex. Tells the babysitter, get the kids out now.
That immediate jump to the ex.
Yeah.
It tells you there's a history there. A known threat. This isn't random. It's targeted. The intruder knows the house, knows the routine perhaps. The subtle door movements feel calculated.
Absolutely calculated. Her heart's pounding. She gathers the kids from Adam's room, but just as they're heading out of that room, the front door of the house slams shut downstairs.
Oh.
She peeks into the living room. Nobody there. But the front door is closed now. Whoever it was, presumably the ex, just left.
He made his exit. He achieved whatever he wanted, maybe just to terrorize them.
Could be. She bolts the front door, calls 911. Lucy gets home just as the police arrive. But like you said, no cameras, no real proof it was the ex. Even though Lucy suspected him, he was Adam's father. And apparently there were issues, which is why she kept the kids from him.
So the police can't do much.
Recommend changing the locks, basically.
Yeah.
But the babysitter, she was deeply unsettled, especially by Lucy's instant suspicion. She couldn't go back there, eventually lost touch with the family, just couldn't shake that feeling of violation.
And that violation of trust is key. The child's warning dismissed, the safe space invaded. It's a powerful combination.
Yeah, and that theme, the dismissed warning, it really carries into our second story.
It seems to be a recurring and frightening pattern. We want to reassure kids, tell them it's just their imagination, but sometimes
Sometimes it isn't. So, story number 2. This is from a 14-year-old girl, her first summer babysitting job back in 2012. She's excited, looking after 2 boys, Alexander, 10, and Danny, who is 5.
14. That's young to handle something truly scary.
Very young. And she gets this list from the parents, rules, routines. But there's this handwritten note on the side, says something like, Danny swears he hears tapping on his window every night, but don't believe him. We think it's just a silly story kids make up.
Wow. They actually wrote not to believe him.
Explicitly. She found it really unnerving, even then. But, she's 14, wants the job, so she kind of pushes it aside. But think about that, an instruction to ignore your child's persistent fear.
It's setting the stage for potential disaster, isn't it? It's dismissing a data point, a repeated one, because it doesn't fit the narrative they want. Dangerous.
Extremely. So the evening goes fine until bedtime. Danny, the 5-year-old, he gets really anxious, starts stalling. Typical kid stuff, maybe, but given the note...
You'd be on edge.
Right. About an hour and a half later, maybe 10 p.m., Danny shouts for her. He heard the tapping again.
There it is.
She goes up, feeling that unease again, checks the window, turns on the light, sees nothing but dark outside, tries to calm him down, suggests, oh, it's probably just a bug hitting the glass. Danny seems to accept it, lies back down.
Okay, scene's resolved for a moment.
For a moment. But as she walks away from his window, heading for the door, she hears it herself.
No.
Yes, a faint but distinct tapping on his window.
Oh, chills.
Instantly. Chills down her spine, she flicks the light back on, looks again, still sees nothing, tries to tell herself, okay, maybe it is bugs, but deep down, that gut feeling...
Her intuition is screaming.
It's screaming, and this is where she makes a choice. Despite the parents' note, despite seeing nothing, she trusts that feeling.
Good for her. That takes courage at 14, especially when adults have told you otherwise.
Yeah.
She listened to the sound, the child, and her own instinct.
Exactly. She acts purely on that instinct. She yanks open the window and just yells out into the night, "This is private property, I'm going to call the police."
Bold move.
And it works. A few moments later, she hears it frantic, scurrying sounds, someone running away from the house towards the woods across the yard. She's covered in goosebumps.
Wow, so someone was there.
Someone was absolutely there, tapping on a 5-year-old's window. She immediately calls the police, then the parents, who luckily were already heading home.
What does the police say?
This is the kicker. The police arrive, and they are not surprised at all.
Right.
Not one bit. They tell her they've been getting reports for a while in that area. A stranger approaching houses at night, looking in windows, tapping on them. Almost weekly calls about it.
Oh my God. So Danny wasn't imagining it. He was reporting a known local prowler.
Exactly. And his parents just kept dismissing it, never believed him. It was real the whole time. The police searched, but didn't find anyone that night.
And the babysitter.
She never felt comfortable going back. Understandably. She still thinks about it, What if that window hadn't been locked? What if it had been open just a crack?
It's a terrifying thought. And it really underscores that idea of confirmation bias. The parents believed it was imagination, so they filtered out the evidence, even repeated evidence from their own child that contradicted that belief. They missed a serious ongoing threat right outside their son's window.
It's a chilling lesson in listening, truly listening, especially to kids.
Their perspective might seem skewed by imagination sometimes, but their instincts, their awareness of something wrong, can be incredibly sharp.
Okay, let's move to our final account. And I have to say, this one feels the most disturbing. It's told by an adult looking back at something that happened when he was only 8 years old.
Okay.
He and his 6-year-old sister needed a babysitter for 3 nights. Their parents hired a 16-year-old boy named Nathan, found him through an ad at the public library. Apparently, he even went to the same high school the parents had attended, which probably added a layer of, perceived safety.
Right, a connection, however tenuous.
From the narrator's 8-year-old viewpoint, Nathan seemed fine at first, totally normal. Played video games with him, Ratchet and Clank, he remembers that specifically. Refereed soccer in the yard, ordered pizza, just seemed like a regular teenager.
Setting a baseline of trust.
Exactly. But then, the second night, the narrator says he was a heavy sleeper back then. He wakes up, his room is pitch black, and he hears his bedroom door closing softly.
Uh-oh.
His eyes adjust, and he sees someone standing in the corner of his room.
Just standing there.
Standing there. Before he can even react, Nathan whispers, "Shh, it's me."
That whisper. It's me. It's meant to be reassuring, but in that context, yeah, deeply sinister.
Terrifying. The narrator freezes. Nathan walks slowly towards the bed, pulls the covers off him, and the narrator has this vivid, horrible memory of Nathan looking like he was about to get into the bed with him.
Oh, no.
At that exact moment, the narrator just screams, "Stop!" and Nathan freezes.
That scream, pure instinctual defense. It probably saved him from something far worse. That's a horrifying violation of trust. The guardian becoming the threat.
Absolutely. The narrator, shaking, totally confused. He gets out of bed, leaves his room, goes straight to his little sister's room, takes a blanket, lies down on her floor, just lies there shaking, uncomfortable, not really understanding what just happened.
Just knowing something was deeply wrong.
Deeply wrong. The next day is just weird, awkward. He barely sees Nathan, knows he's around because Nathan gives his sister breakfast, but Nathan seems to be actively avoiding him.
He knows he crossed a line. He's testing the waters, maybe, or gauging the reaction.
Could be. The narrator wants to call his parents, but he's 8. He doesn't know their cell numbers back then, so he just spends the day basically hiding out in his room with his sister, Claying. Nathan never comes in.
A long, tense day for that poor kid.
Unbelievably tense. Then comes the third night. He can't sleep, obviously. He's just lying there waiting, and after a while, he hears his bedroom door creak open again.
Oh, God. He came back.
He came back. This time the narrator doesn't look. He just lies completely still, frozen, until he hears the door close again. Waits a few moments. Then looks up, turns on his lamp. Nathan's gone.
He knew. He knew Nathan was checking on him.
He knew Nathan was creeping around again, as he put it, and even at 8, his first thought is his sister. He feels this overwhelming need to protect her. He decides he has to go sleep in her room.
Brave kid. Instinctively protective.
Incredibly. So he gathers his pillows, his blankets, stands up, and walks into his sister's room. It's pitch black, and he sees Nathan.
No, not in her room.
In her room, already halfway across the room, moving towards his sister's dead.
Oh, that is sickening.
The narrator just yells at him, "Get away from her!" Nathan jumps, quickly says something like, "Oh, I was just checking on her," and hurries out of the room.
The classic excuse.
Yeah.
Plausible deniability.
The narrator immediately locks her door, and that was the last time he ever saw Nathan.
This is just profoundly disturbing. It's not just a single incident, it's an escalation. Testing boundaries, retreating, then trying again with a younger, potentially more vulnerable target. The fact that this 8-year-old boy felt he had to be the protector, it speaks volumes about the fear and the responsibility he felt forced to carry.
It's heartbreaking. The next morning, he and his sister just stayed locked in her room until they heard their parents come home and knew Nathan was gone. His parents asked why he slept on her floor. He doesn't remember his excuse, but he knows he didn't tell them what really happened.
He couldn't?
He never told them. And he says even now, as an adult, he deeply regrets it. He carries this fear that because Nathan was never reported, never held accountable, he might have gone on to hurt other children. That memory, he says, is still scarring and vivid.
And that burden of silence is tragic. It highlights why kids often don't disclose abuse or these kinds of boundary violations. There's fear, confusion, shame. Maybe they don't have the words, or they fear they won't be believed like in the other stories. It's a devastating consequence of such a profound betrayal by someone in a position of trust.
So wrapping this up, these 3 stories, they leave you with a heavy feeling. You see these threads, right? Trust being violated in places that should be safe. Threats that persist, sometimes ignored or unknown. And how vital it is to listen to our own gut feelings, but maybe even more importantly,
To listen to children.
Yeah, to really listen to children.
These accounts are stark reminders, really. That terror doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, in the most ordinary settings, a kid's bedroom, a suburban house at night. And sometimes, maybe often, our vigilance, our willingness to believe the uncomfortable or the improbable is the only thing standing between safety and Carrie. Well, something awful.
It really makes you think, and maybe this is the thought to leave you with. How well do we ever really know the people we place our trust in, especially when it involves our children? And what's our responsibility? What's your responsibility to believe kids, even when their stories sound like fantasy? Sometimes the monsters they talk about are frighteningly real. Thank you for joining us on this pretty unnerving deep dive today. Please stay safe out there, stay aware, and trust your instincts.
Absolutely.
If you found these accounts as compelling, as chilling as we did, please do support the channel. Like this, share it, and subscribe to Horror Docs. That way you won't miss our next exploration into the unsettling. Until then, take care.